Hey guys, thanks for watching. Really special video today. A new series we're going to be doing on Be Better Golf called Unsolicited Advice. An idea I had when I had a call with Brian a couple months ago, or actually just a couple weeks ago. And Brian said, by the way, I could fix Rory McILROY. I just need to talk to him for like 10 minutes. So we're going to try to squeeze your advice for Rory McILROY. Rory McILROy was, I think, maybe one putt or maybe two putts away from winning the US Open. He also had a chance to win something else this year.
Yeah,
and then last year he also missed a short putt.
So he's also going 10 years without a major?
Yes, he's probably has the highest amount of talent and not really getting a lot out of it recently. So what if Rory will see this video because he subscribes to Be Better Golf.
Good.
What would you tell him?
This is 19, by the way. So I did this little trace of the club head. So Johnny Ortega right here, we're at the Ortega Golf Lab. Go back to address. This dude take away to just below his hands. I've seen Rory in the last year or two, at this point, have the club head out here on draw swings. So that club head is going up pretty much like at some sort of an angle, right? Like kind of close to his address angle. And that club is in a good, to me, that's a good position because he plays his best when the club, go a little further, Johnny, get the club to about right here. All right, where this is sort of just maybe outside the ball, the point of the club, and the club head is still going in the whole way back, right? It had a little up, curve here, but all the way to here, that club head went in.
Yeah.
So it's as in as it has to be for him to get to the top of the backswing. So what he's able to do then, a little bit later, he high points, probably just a little higher than I do that line. And then his down track, that's the down part, will come kind of toward his neck or maybe his ear or something. That's when he swings his best. That's a draw backswing.
And
So,
you call this pattern like a little sickle pattern?
Sickle, yeah, a little sickle.
Like
right?
a Grim Reaper's thing, yeah.
So what happened to Rory somehow, I think a combination of Pete Cowan trying to take the hook out, and Rory tried that, didn't like it, but things stick. He wound up more out. So now this club is not getting his in. So maybe when this club is right here, right there, the club, instead of being there, it's kind of like that. So then when he took some of this curve out at the top of his swing, and what you would see him do is he would probably go out like this, right? Go out like this, more outside his hands, and then he would sort of shove it back to get it deep enough late, going this way late, not back toward him late. And what people need to understand is that club, if you went up here and got on a ladder and got hit with this club when it was halfway down from the high point to the end of the backswing right there, he knocked you stone cold out. Okay, the club's moving at a pretty good rate. So the golfer, any golfer who takes it back further than this, which is a lot of people, is slowing the club down by applying a force and probably a little torque to slow it down. And it's easy to start it in the same direction. So if you get this down track towards your neck, then you squat and do all this move. You get the club to go out and a little bit lower than it came down. That's a very typical little sickle, Tiger playing his best. Bobby Jones had a sickle, okay, a little wider backswing. So what Rory wound up doing is he sort of flattened this out, and he was hunting for enough inside to hit his hook. And sometimes he wouldn't get it. Sometimes he would push it back too far. And there's this stigma in golf instruction about taking the club back a little more here, kind of like you did in that video. Everything's got to be out here. So what winds up happening, the more you take the club out here, the more you have to then overroll the arm here. So he did a combination of out, rolled without it getting too like this, and then, oh shoot, I'm not inside, I'm more fade right here. And he'd make this little move late, not worth a darn for somebody who's basically should be the best or one of the two best players in the world. And it's just not what he did here in 19 from the JC video library. not what he did when he won that U.S. Open and Congressional and literally almost broke every record, just had an average last round. And I think it's just from some well-meaning, good coaches, bad advice, and you start piecing stuff together. And like Ernest Jones, the famous golf teacher of the first 50 years of the last century, said, if you take a cat, you cut it up, you got blood and guts all over the place, and you don't have a cat anymore. Right. So you can take one of the best golf swings of all time and put a Pete Cowan takeaway and somebody else's roll here, and then he's trying to hit a shot that he's hit his whole life, and he's fishing for a top of the backswing position late that he wouldn't have to do if it was even remotely like this.
Let me ask you, is there anything inherent in this move here that would indicate that a hook could happen, like his famous hook into the cottages that happened at the Masters?
Oh, I mean,
that's probably why he changed this, right? Is because of hooks every once in a blue moon.
It would be easy to say that, but I think it's just not in style.
Okay.
Right? He's getting advice from people who are current.
Yeah.
At least on tour.
Mm-hmm.
And they're teaching current stuff.
Yeah.
And they taught him out of this move. This was just 5 years ago. So it was even better in 12.
Yeah.
7 years before that. So I just don't think anybody thinks a little bit in's any good. I don't think anybody thinks deep right here's any good. And I'm the only person I can find on the dang internet that's teaching a down track back towards the oh, it's crossed the line. The world's going to come to an end. Yeah.
Is this change that you're talking about, that you're recommending he should do, similar to the change that Xander Schauffele made this year?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You could reiterate, because they were talking about that on TV, and he's playing way better.
Yeah.
So reiterate what Xander did.
So I've known Chris Como for a long time, and he's smart enough to know I know what I'm talking about, and that's what we do. Like, I'm doing a seminar tomorrow here, and I'm going to try to share as much as I can to 10 pros, right? It's not like you don't, I mean, what if I don't make it past tomorrow, does all my stuff die with me? No, I'm trying to pass this stuff on.
Sure.
And one of the things that the sickle idea came along, probably in my teaching, probably, 10 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. And I think Chris put it into Bryce DeChambeau's backswing, which used to be complete. This had none of that. It went straight up a line and straight down a line.
Yeah, he was on the Explain-R for
100%. With one of those dream swings. So a dream swing that kept you on one plane up against a Explain-R that was on one plane. And he did it wonderfully. You got to give Mike Shy a lot of credit. Right?
Sure, yeah.
They were trying to do that. They did.
Xander with it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it gave him a chance, this change in the down track to, it used to kind of go like this, to this. I'm telling you, folks, if you can get the club just a little bit on this side of your hands, coming from over there, this move that everybody's trying to get you to do to look like this, so you don't look like this, will just happen. And everybody in golf instruction, but the examples you use are perfect. Schauffele was a career archerist layer offer who, if you saw him play live, he hit it great. And then every now and then, how could that shot come out of that guy? So he lost tournaments that he just 1 or 2 shots and just ruined the tournament. So Chris has got him more like this. Mm-hmm. And it's not like nobody's teaching it, because obviously he did it with those 2 famous players. But I think people think if you make this move, that this out track, right, coming out of this down track is going to the club. If you're going to cross the line, the club's going to dump underneath. I mean, come on, now, you think his club's going to dump that far underneath him? But
here you can kind of see, if you put it your way, the action and reaction.
Yes.
This way.
Yeah, he's slowing this down. And then, obviously everybody's seeing Rory swing. He's got a really good back end squat move, so that helped lower the out.
Yeah.
That's why he has that. And almost everybody, even I have that move, right, about regular draw swing, right? And it just doesn't look like he's trying to force the club out or force the club. I would actually, in a perfect world, John, if you can do this, draw a box from the middle of his feet to the ball. A good rule of thumb. You're working on this yourself, right? We want Rory to play better. He's a good guy. He's good for golf, but you might learn something out there too in YouTube land. So you got this action. Now, if you draw another box that starts right here, right here, start right there. Perfect. So I'd like to see this endpoint get even more
into that.
Yeah. In some golf swings, I don't you get. We're dealing with camera angles here. Where's he aiming and all this stuff. But traditional Hall of Fame sickle endpoint, right? The endpoint is closer to this line than this.
Who's your total model for this kind of sickle? Like if you were to show him a swing, like, or somebody was going to look up on YouTube to kind of see this.
I guess five Tiger, Haney era Tiger. I think the Harmon 2000 swing that Terry rolls.
A little up.
Yeah, well, it's a little up early, which was his problem. So, but Rory maybe doesn't need to get that deep. He didn't get this deep when he was struggling, and he knew. I heard a bunch of chatter that I need to make a change. I know I need to make a change, and I think the problem with tour players is people would be shocked. There's 50,000 people who do what me and John and you do some teach golf, right? Mm-hmm. In the world, probably 50,000. There's about 40 guys worldwide who teach tour players more than one, or they're out on tour a lot. And that thing doesn't get turned over. It's maybe 25 on tour, they go to 20 tournaments. Yeah. That doesn't get turned over that much. Right. So these guys get into a situation, why would Tiger do this or go to that? They don't know where to go, right? I mean, like, why did you get Joe's, drywall service to put on your roof, Brian? I didn't know anybody, right? They don't know anybody. And I don't think he would get this particular advice.
So today, this whole thing is even steeper, and this is narrower.
Yeah, and then he's doing this little late. Well, he's already started to change it. But let's just say if we go back to U.S. Open, and he's forcing those hands back right here. Now he's got some kind of.
He's kind of late searching for depth.
Late searching for depth.
Yeah, okay.
Perfect way to do it, and it's just not that hard. If you swing a club back and forth, just hit the ground in the same spot. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he can do that. Pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
And you videoed it. He'd do everything I wanted him to do. Yeah. This is not a back and forth. this crazy takeaway he was doing wouldn't be part of anybody's back and forth drill.
Right.
So just like Ernest Jones said, we brought up Ernest Jones before. He had his entire training aid collection and no launch monitor. They're hitting into a tarpaulin in the Spalding building in New York. Was a pocket knife and a handkerchief. Mm-hmm. And he just said, look, swing that club like that, mm-hmm. right? So the swing the club head thing, this is a little manipulated, and he needs to go back to something a little more natural like when he was a kid.
Something that Dr. Crum was telling people to do, he calls it stage X. It's like, if you would do this maybe once, but if you were to do it like 20 times, it would start to really take a shape that's pretty orthodox and natural.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But tour players hit lots of balls, and they work out, they throw medicine balls, and lift weights, and do all this kind of stuff. And they're strong enough to just fake their way through, and it just doesn't look. If you look at it, it just doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look right because the reason why, like they did a thing a few years ago at National Geographic or somebody, they took all the facial features and they orthodoxed all the facial features. They had the first-hand computers that could do that. And this was an attractive person. So the reason why attractive people attract other people is because they're more symmetrical, and they're more symmetrical all the way through their body, and that they probably have a better chance of survival than the people that aren't. Yeah. And that's how we got this far. And in the golf swing, the problem is the video era is relatively a short era. Yeah. Relative to the 160 years they've been playing the British Open, right? And nobody was doing this takeaway as a rule, or even just getting it to the hands out here instead of over here. Until, maybe Nicholas did it a little bit, but Haney made it popular. Haney made that takeaway popular.
And the video camera.
In the video,
Yeah.
people would draw a line and go, "Oh, you're inside the line. The world's going to end." And it, obviously, it doesn't end because they got people that take the club right here, like Bobby Jones, that could come out of the sky with his hickory shafts and beat everybody at Costa Mesa tomorrow. Like, I was laughing.
Yeah.
So he didn't
All right.
win 13 majors for nothing.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching, everybody. Send this video to Rory and let us know what he thinks about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to see more with Brian, or if you have any questions for Brian about this, or if you think he's dead wrong, let him know. Over on X is probably the best way, or on Instagram, but do it publicly so we can all enjoy the back and forth.
Have some fun with it.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks to John Ortega here at Ortega Putt Lab in Costa Mesa.
The very best.
See you later. Bye.